Hey guys, thanks for joining me. This is Yoga with Deanna, and for our practice today, we'll really be tuning into the frequency of love. And in our environment right now, there's a lot of uncertainty and even fear really circling, and so we have this opportunity to kind of change the dial and tune our frequency to these elevated emotions of love and nourishment and compassion for ourselves and for others. And so go ahead and grab something comfortable, grab your yoga mat, and let's go ahead and get started. Let's start in a comfortable seated position. If you want to grab a pillow or a bolster or something just to prop the hips up, get nice and cozy here. Start to close the eyes. And let's just begin to tune into our body. This practice today will be all about love. And you don't need to have a relationship or a partnership or an example of love in your life to begin cultivating that internal love, that unconditional love for self. So let's start to roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Begin to lengthen up through the crown of the head or the tip of the head. Just start to tune into the sensations in your body. How are you feeling today? And just softening the jaw, softening the face. Use that exhale just to let go of how your day's gone so far. Maybe how your week's gone. Let any expectations, any judgments, let them just kind of roll away. And we'll begin our practice just starting to tune into those elevated emotions of love. So bringing your awareness to the space in the center of your chest. Bringing one of your palms, one of your hands over that space and just giving it a little rub. Feeling your breath as you inhale, the chest expands. And then notice as you exhale, softening the body, surrendering into this practice. Just notice as the mind may start to wander. If you can just bring it back to this space underneath your palm, to this heart center. Using that as your guide. And as the mind starts to wander, and we know it will, gently bring it back to this heart. Back to this space. Unconditional love, of nourishment. In times like these, knowing that the absence of fear is love. Let's take a few deep breaths together, fully in, filling the belly, the chest, feel the collarbones slightly expand and rise on the inhale. And as you reach the top, hold for a moment, allowing that oxygen to reach all parts of the body. And then as you open the mouth, exhale, let it all go. And just bring into your awareness, bring into your mind, someone in your life. It can be someone or something, maybe a pet. It really brings you joy, it brings you love. And bring that image into your mind's eye. That person, that thing, that pet. And begin to experience those feelings, those elevated emotions of joy, of happiness, of love. Just take a moment to draw those emotions into into your body. Beginning to feel what those elevated emotions feel like in your heart center. Maybe it's a little bit of warmth. Maybe it's a little bit of ease. Maybe a little curl in the corners of your lips as you smile, thinking about them. And then begin to tune that frequency of love towards yourself. And this wasn't always an easy practice for me, so be gentle with yourself. Without judgment, without expectations. Feel that love start to grow for your body, for the place you are at right here, right now, for your spirit, and for the journey that has brought you to this very place. Take another full inhale, feel that heart. Imagine that just radiating a beautiful golden glow around the chest, expanding out around the body, beginning to fill your entire room. Allow your love just to radiate out from your being. If this isn't resonating with you, be kind to yourself, as this is a practice. Like anything else, it takes time to develop that self-love, that self-nourishment, but a practice that is absolutely necessary. When we step into this place of self-love, there's nothing selfish about it. It's from this frequency that we are able to share that love with others and create more of that in our day-to-day. One more full breath in. Exhale. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. We'll release the hands down, and then just start to make some circles with the body. You're welcome to keep the eyes closed. If you'd like to maybe tune in, make this more of an internal practice for you. Otherwise, just start to make some circles, warm up the spine, maybe kicking the legs out in front here, pointing and flexing those toes. And then we'll bend the knees, bring the hands behind us, begin to lift the chest, lift the heart, lower the head back. Just feel that chest expanding. And then we'll tuck the chin to the chest and then allow the knees just to fall side to side. Getting to kind of pick up the pace here as we'll warm the body up for our flow. And then coming back through center, we're going to allow the knees to fall all the way over to the right. Walk the knees out away from each other. So even walking the feet out a little bit here. Begin to lift that heart one more time. Feel the stretch in the shoulders and the collarbones. Feeling that kind of hip flexor and that quad start to open up. And then gently we'll come back through center, move right into that other side. Soften the knees down and then spread the feet, kind of walking that right foot back in space. And then again, just lifting that heart, shining it all the way towards the sky. Feeling that right quad, hip flexor. You need to open up. And then we'll slowly tuck the chin to the chest. We'll bring the knees back together. We're going to come onto our backs. And to do so, we'll bend the knees, begin to walk the hands all the way down, and then just hold when you get to that place where you're kind of on that sacrum or that base of the low back here. Bring that belly in towards the spine, start to feel the core turn on. Begin to bring the arms out by your sides as if you're shaking someone's hands here, and start to really activate the arms. Starting to turn on this internal fire, lifting maybe that left leg, bring that foot back down, and then the right leg. And then if you're feeling brave today, maybe bringing both legs up. And if you're shaking here, that's good. That means those tiny little muscle fibers are working. We'll bring both legs back down. Sit all the way up, find length in that spine, and then we're going to round down as we come all the way to the mat. Scoot down here a little bit. Grab those legs, wrap them around, and give yourself a really nice hug this morning, rocking a little side to side. Notice if the shoulders are kind of up in the ears, see if you can relax them down, finding a little space between the ears and the shoulders. And just opening up that low back. Then we'll bring both feet down to the mat, stacking the ankles underneath the knees here, about hip distance apart. And then as we prepare for our bridge pose, just check in with the knees that they're shooting straight out. So instead of allowing the legs to kind of open up or cave in, they're just parallel with one another. Palms down by the sides, press into the feet, and begin to peel the hips off the mat, as if you had a string from your belly button all the way up to the sky, and then lift, find your edge. Remember, no strain, no pain. Gently challenge yourself. We're starting to really warm up the body here. Use those glutes, maybe lift a little bit higher. Relax the upper body. We're holding on this first one. Getting some fresh circulation, fresh blood into this pelvic floor here. And then we'll slowly lower that back down. Rock the knees a little side to side. Bring them back through center. And on this next one, we'll bring our arms with us. So press into the feet, bring the hands, spread the fingers wide, coming all the way up. Maybe on this one you find you walk your hands out a little bit, give your shoulders some space. Slight compression from the chin to the chest here, really great for stimulating that thyroid and parathyroid. That's our master gland of our metabolism. So many benefits of yoga, but really shining that heart up. And then as we lower back down on an exhale, take your time, coming all the way back down. We'll relax here for a moment as we reset. And then this next one, we're going to take it a little bit faster. So inhale, connecting the breath to the movement as you lift, rise, and expand. Press into all four corners of the feet, and then exhale, lower everything back down with control. Relax into the mat. Inhale as you rise. Opening and expanding. And then exhale as we reset. On this next one, just imagining as you inhale to lift, you're expanding, you're growing that space in the heart. Just kind of like a bubble. You're really taking your time here, and then exhale to lower back down. So using that breath with control, and then we'll release that down. Allow the knees just to fall over to the right, and then over to the left. Starting to feel the lower part of your abdomen kind of stretch and elongate as you come to each side. And then we're going to wrap our hands underneath the thighs here and start to rock up and down the spine. Whatever feels good to you, take that right now. And then we'll come on up. We're going to swivel around into our tabletop. Take a moment to stack the knees under the hips and the wrists underneath the shoulders here. Finding that length from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Spread the fingers wide, and as you inhale, lift the chest again, paying attention to that heart. So we're shining that heart forward. Belly is dropping down towards the mat, and then that tailbone is lifted in this cow. Hanging out here for a minute. And maybe even imagining the palms as if you're driving them or dragging them towards the knees. So it's just a tiny, maybe micro movement here, but just finding a little more length in the front of the body. Shoulders are away from the ears here. And then slowly we'll move into this cat. So rounding the back, tucking the chin. That gaze comes towards the belly button. Really pressing into the hands, the top of the feet, finding that arch. Now we're shining the back of the heart to the sky. And then we'll slowly release. I invite you to close your eyes here as we move from our cow to our cat. Tuning into the sensations in your body today. Inhale through cow. Exhale as you round and move into that cat. Bringing that awareness to the spine. See if you can take it so slow that you can feel those little micro movements. Feel the rounding and bending and flexibility in your spine. Take a few more rounds here on your own. And then we'll finish in a tabletop neutral spine. From here, we'll walk the hands all the way forward, coming into that puppy dog. So just melting the heart down, keeping the hips up high, and then just allow the head to fall all the way to the mat. And maybe it comes to a pillow, maybe the forehead touches the mat, maybe you're just a few inches off. And just melting the chest, the heart, all the way to the ground. Finding an opening in the underside of the arms, in the armpits, I guess you call them. Spread the fingers wide here. Maybe wag the tail a little if that feels good. And then we'll walk the hands back underneath. Bringing that left hand underneath the nose here. We're going to sweep that right arm all the way up. Find a little twist, reach with those fingertips. On the exhale, we're going to thread the needle. So we'll take this right arm, thread it right underneath, and then allow that right side of the face to come down to the mat. So we're getting into the back here, into the shoulders. Bring that left hand all the way out, maybe for a little stretch. You can also bring that up into the air, into a bind. Wherever you are today, listen to your body. Then we'll bring that hand back to the mat. So we begin to press into the mat and unwind. Sweep that arm up one more time, and then we'll bring it to the mat. Right hand comes underneath the nose as we set up for the other side. Sweep the left arm up this time, all the way up. Reach, reach, reach. And then exhale, we'll thread the needle on this side. Allowing that left side of the face to come down just gently on the head. If you feel like you have a lot of pressure here, you can bring the hips back. Use that right hand maybe just as a support. Maybe you want to extend it out for a little bit of a deeper stretch, or even overhead into that bind. So we're opening up the back of the shoulder here. Back of the heart. Let's press that right hand back into the mat and unwind from that side. And just make some circles with the hips. Whatever organic movement kind of feels good to you right now, whatever your body is needing, feel free to take it. And then we'll prepare for our downward dog here. So tuck the toes underneath. We're going to walk the hands back, just stretching out the bottom of the feet. And we'll walk the hands back forward. Kick the hips up and back to a downward facing dog, pedaling out the heels. Finding that length in the spine in your downward dog, that V shape of the body, the hips are up high. And then start to walk one foot, other foot, all the way towards the top of your mat. Bend the knees here really generously. Maybe walk them out wide for this first one. Find some space for the hips and then round the back as you allow the head just to fall towards the floor here. Maybe dangle a little, grab opposite elbows. Let that back decompress, let that spine decompress. Maybe shake the head out, a little yes and no. And then we'll bring the hands either to the floor, to a block, start to straighten the legs, heel toe them together. As you walk the hands up to the shins, coming into a flat back, so a little L shape with the body here. Maybe walking the hands up to the thighs, press into the thighs, find a little bit more length. So you anchor the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then squeeze the booty as you begin to round the back, stack the vertebrae, stack the spine, coming all the way up. Sweep the arms all the way out to the side, reach overhead. Imagine you have a little beach ball between your hands here. Can you bring that slightly towards the back wall? Maybe the hips come forward just a tiny bit, and then come back through center. Allow the hands and the arms, the beach ball, to rotate over to the right, hips come to the left, find your edge, and then back through center. Keep breathing. Inhale as we lift, and then exhale, bringing that beach ball over to the left, hips come to the opposite direction towards the right, and then back through center. Sweep the arms all the way down, hinging at the hips as we forward fold. We get into a little flow here. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands towards the mat. Maybe bend the knees, step that left foot all the way back. And then just find a good stance here. So maybe you rock a little forward and back. Just warming up those feet still. Lowering that back knee, and then just checking that this front knee is in a nice alignment. So you want to kind of stack it over the ankle here. Walk the hands up to the thighs, and then open up the arms, cactus them, bring the elbows back behind, lift the heart again. So we're in this low lunge, shining that heart forward, spreading that love, and then we'll exhale, bring the hands through that heart center. Left hand comes down to the mat, right hand comes up into a twist. Reach through those fingertips, and then we'll release that back to the floor. We're going to step that right foot to meet that left foot at the back of the mat. We're in a brief plank here, so if you need to come to the knees, you can. Otherwise, hold on in this plank, squeeze that belly up, feel your strength. And then we're going to slowly lower all the way down, bring the belly to the mat, release the top of the feet, zip up the legs. Palms are down by your collarbones here, down by your shoulders. We'll squeeze the elbows in, find a little lift in the chest. Low cobra. And then release that back down. Tuck the toes underneath. We're going to make our way into downward dog. So press all the way up, lift the hips up and back. You can use your knees to get you there. Pedal the feet out one more time. And then as we make our way forward, we're going to bring that left foot with us when we come through. If you need to kind of help it there, you can. Lower that back knee down. And then same thing on this side. We're going to lift the arms, cactus them as you draw the elbows back and shine that heart open. What helps us to open our heart is really tapping into those emotions that make us feel joy, that make us feel really that love for life. Hands come through center. We'll bring that right hand to the mat. Sweep that left arm all the way up, twisting on this side. We'll release that hand back to the mat. And then we'll tuck those back toes as we step or walk forward, coming into that forward fold. I like to keep my knees kind of bent here. And then we'll walk the hands up to the thighs, flat back. Release it all the way back to the floor. And then inhale, root to rise, spread the fingers wide. See if you can grab all that energy around you, like that beach ball all the way overhead. And then in a slight back bend, exhale through center. We're going to come to the right with that beach ball. Back through center, and over to the left. Just opening up all the channels in the body. Getting that blood flow. Exhale the hands down through the sides. Down to the sides, I guess I should say. And then just shake it out. We're going to move through one more of those flows. So inhale up. And then exhale, hinge the hips forward. Inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale, release back to the floor. Step the left foot back. And this time we're going to come into a high lunge, so a crescent lunge. So find that stability in your feet. Maybe walking them a little bit apart here from one another. And when you're ready, we'll sweep the arms overhead, coming back with that beach ball. Feeling that back leg really strong, really engaged. Hands will come through the heart center. We're going to lower that back knee down. This time that left elbow comes across that right knee, coming into a little twist. So squeezing from the midsection here. You can use those elbows. That feels good today. Love those twists. So great for digestion and elimination. And then gently unwind. Hands come to the mat. We'll step that right foot back. Again, come into this plank. So you can always drop the knees down. You always have that option. But feel your power here. Press the hands into the mat. Say, I am strong. And then maybe lower the knees down. And then slowly lowering the chest all the way to the mat. We'll zip up those legs. And this time you have an option of coming into that low cobra or peel the head, neck, and chest up as you come into a high cobra. Keeping that little bend, hair in the face, and the elbows here. And then instead of being up here, see if you can draw those shoulders down and away from the ears. Be mindful of your low back. If you have any injuries there, you might want to stay in that low cobra. Then we'll lower back down. Use that strength in your upper body. Use your arm muscles. Coming all the way to the mat. We'll tuck those toes underneath. You can use your knees always to get you back into that downward dog. Hips up high. Full inhale, exhale. And then we'll bring that left foot between the hands. Make our way into this crescent lunge on this side. A lot of hair in the face going on today. And then again, really press into the feet, lengthen and engage that back leg, and then we'll reach the arms overhead. Find that power in this crescent pose. Be here just for a moment, and then we'll lower that back knee down. Hands will come through heart center, and we'll move into the twist on the other side. Right elbow goes across that right knee. Getting a nice twist. Stay with your breath. Notice if when it gets challenging, the mind starts to wander. Come back to the heart center. And then we'll unwind. Hands come to the mat. Walk the back foot in. We'll step all the way to the front. Forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, release. And then inhale, sweep the arms all the way overhead. Coming back to the beach ball. Bring it over to the right. Back through center. Over to the left. Coming through center, and then release the arms by the sides. Take a breath here, palms facing open. Roll the shoulders down and back. Check in that your hips are right underneath you. So as if you had those headlights and they're just shining right out in front. And close the eyes. Feeling your power, feeling your heat. Maybe your heart started to beat a little faster. And then come back to those elevated emotions of love, joy, and zest for life. Maybe bringing that focus back to that person or that pet that brings you love in your life. And then moving into a balance sequence here, we'll step those left toes back. Begin to really bring that weight into the right foot, strengthening and engaging that right leg. Sweep the arms overhead, bringing them alongside the ears. Soften the shoulders down and back. Find something to focus the eyes on. And then maybe you stay right here, maybe just lifting the toes slightly off the mat is your balance expression today. Or if you'd like to take it a little deeper, you can begin to pivot the chest forward, reach to the fingertips, find that length. And as you hinge forward, the back leg lifts all the way off, coming into this full warrior three. Finding your balance today. Maybe the gaze is down in front. Stamping that foot on the back wall if you're in the full warrior three. One more moment here. Take a full breath. And then exhale as we pivot and come all the way out. Release the hands. Shake that side out. Move into the right side now. I'm going to switch directions here, but you can stay where you are. So we'll just shift that right foot back in space. Sweep the arms overhead. Reach to the fingertips. Soften the shoulders down from the ears. We want to prevent that tension from building in the shoulders. And then again, all that weight is in that left leg. Begin to move into your expression of warrior three. And as you pivot the chest forward, that leg lifts any amount. Whew. And then rise back up, feeling that strength. And we'll shake that one out on this side as well. Move into a king dancer here. So if you need to grab a chair or something, or maybe even a wall to support you, you just bend that back leg or that left leg Again, all our weight here is in our right leg on this side. So find that focal point, maybe the top of your mat, something that doesn't move. Lock those knees together and then reach that right arm overhead. As we begin to pivot the chest forward, similar to Warrior 3, we start to kick that back foot into our hands. So coming into whatever expression of King Dancer feels good to you. Hold for a moment. And then we'll slowly come out the same way we came in, with control there. If you have control today, we'll shake that out. Come into the other side. So use whatever support you need. There is no one way to do yoga. And then again, we'll bend this right knee on this side. Grab a hold of that foot. You can always use a little towel or something to wrap around your foot, or a strap. Reaching the left hand overhead, and then coming into King Dancer on this side. Again, use that wall if you need. Kick that back foot into your hand. Reach, open up, expand. And then we'll come out. And we'll shake that one out. Our last balance sequence today, I feel like we need a lot of balance in our life, or I do at least. We'll sweep that right hand into this little, I guess you call it 90-degree angle. Sweep the left arm all the way underneath. And then bring the elbows in towards the chest, coming into eagle arms. And then we'll sit back, just slightly bending the knees, sweeping that left leg all the way up and over that right thigh. And maybe the toe just anchors on the floor for some more balance. Or if you'd like to wrap that foot around, and then draw everything into the midline. Squeezing it in. This is a very detoxifying pose. Imagine the back of the heart between those shoulder blades is just opening up. Knees, elbows, everything towards the center line. One more full breath in. And then we'll gently release the legs, release the arms, sweep them all the way overhead. And release that down. Moving into the other sided eagle, left arm comes up to that 90 degrees and that right arm sweeps underneath. Find your lock, or however you are able to bring your arms together. So maybe the back of the palms come together, maybe the front of the palms. And then we'll bend into the knees, bring that weight into the left foot, sweep that right leg all the way over and across. Find your eagle, elbows towards the chest, squeezing everything into the midline. This is a very active pose. We're hitting a lot of points here in Chinese medicine, or pressure points that support our elimination and detox pathways, getting rid of what is not serving our body, supporting that immune system. And then we'll release the legs, release the arms, sweep them up overhead, and then exhale. We'll release that down. We're going to come onto a little squat here. If you want to grab a block or a pillow, you can. Otherwise, just separate the feet wide, maybe a little past hip distance. And then we're going to start to come all the way down. So press the knees out, over the toes. Again, feel free to grab a block or a pillow or something to sit on. And then press the elbows into the knees, find a little bit more space here. And then everyone's hips are different. So maybe your feet are pointing a little bit more out. Maybe they're pointing forward. Find your squat, Malasana. And then close the eyes. Send some love deep down into those hips, some nourishment, some breath. And then as we come out of this, we'll just release our hands behind us, bringing our feet towards the mat. And we're gonna finish up with a couple forward folds. So extend that right foot forward, bring that left foot across. Give that knee a nice squeeze and sweep the left arm back behind you. One more squeeze on this side. And then we'll release that. Extend that leg out. And then right knee comes in and across. Give that right knee a nice hug. Draw that knee in towards the chest. And a little length in the spine as you reach that right arm back. Twisting on this side. Feeling that chest opening. And then we'll release this one as well. I'm going to bring that right leg out, bend the left leg. Sitting up tall, we're going to come into our Janu Sirsasana, or seated forward fold. We'll start with that right leg out, toes pointing up. We're going to reach our hands overhead and then begin to pivot the chest all the way forward until we can't go any further, maybe grabbing the leg or the toes or just hands on the mat. And then we'll round the forehead towards the knee. This is an excellent kind of full body stretch here. So just rounding out our practice. Our forward folds are so great for calming the nervous system, soothing the mind, tuning that focus inward. And then start to walk the hands in as we unwind. We'll switch the legs. Find that length in the spine as we reach the arms overhead, coming into this other side. Reach, reach, reach. And then round the head forward towards the knee. Notice how both sides feel. One side may feel a little different than the other. Stay with your breath. And we'll walk the hands back in, sitting up tall. And then go ahead and grab a pillow or a block or something that you can just set right under your back. We're going to end in a nice heart-opening position here in a modified fish pose. So grab your pillow, bring it down to the base of your spine. You can walk your hands down your thighs just to round down over your pillow. Release the head, maybe the top of the head, maybe just the back of the head. Whatever feels good. If you need a little opening in your throat, bringing the top of the head to the mat can be really nice. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees just to fall open. Butterfly with the legs here. Just allowing gravity to do the work. And then we'll bring one hand up to our heart, one hand to our belly. And just start to feel the body slowing down. Notice any sensations that arise, maybe doing a quick scan from the head down into the jaw, relax the face. Can you melt the shoulders into the pillow? Release any control with the breath. Let the belly soften. The hips relax. Let the legs be heavy. And then bring your focus back to this heart center. We correspond the heart to love. And with this emotion of love, try to imagine the heart expanding underneath your palm. Whatever memories or experiences that bring you joy and happiness, maybe tune into one of those experiences. Maybe it's an interaction with someone you love, maybe it's playing with your kid or your dog, maybe it's a recent little adventure you took. Just find the first thing that comes to mind. And start to tune into the feelings, the emotions, the experience. As we draw upon those emotions, we start to create that frequency in the body. That energy, that unseen force of life. And then just allow that experience to expand around the body. As you inhale, can you grow that energy or that feeling of love, of joy, compassion, excitement, whatever elevated emotion comes to you? Can you imagine that expanding around your mat, into your room, and then expanding out, filling the house, filling your town, your state, and then circling the globe. And then bring someone dear to you into your heart space. And just take a moment to send them love. And staying where you are, you can bring the knees in towards one another and extend the legs long on the mat. Maybe you roll over to the side when you're ready and release or remove that pillow from your back. And as I close you out, just find a comfortable savasana. Maybe keeping those eyes closed. Just really soaking in these emotions of love. In times like these, we really have an opportunity to change our frequency, to turn the channel. The absence of fear is really love. So I encourage you to join me, take a moment every day, whenever you are reminded or whenever you have an opportunity to just bring up that elevated emotion of love, of compassion, of peace, of excitement, of joy for life. By bringing up those emotions, we then can create a powerful force of love in our life. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.